A typical college class goes something like this: tests, textbooks, and a clear distinction between teacher and student. But what if you tossed all that out the window?
This school really offered a radical education that was unlike anything else.
Nearly 100 years ago, a small group of academic rebels sought to reimagine higher education in the mountains of North Carolina. They created an unconventional school founded on experimentation.
It became this haven for creative thinkers who were really determined to try something new, and it all happened on a remote campus tucked away in the Blue Ridge Mountains.
I'm Anissa Khalifa. This is The Broadside, where we tell stories from our home at the crossroads of the South. This week, producer Charlie Shelton Ormond tells the story of how a band of freethinkers broke all the rules and influenced a generation of artists and educators around the world.
Storms, floods, and fires are ever more extreme, and yet the Federal Emergency Management Agency is fighting for its life.
I've never been a big fan of FEMA.
FEMA's a disaster.
FEMA's a dirty word.
People are waking up in droves to the FEMA camps.
Can the agency survive the stories that have been told about it? And can we survive without FEMA? American Emergency, the movement to kill FEMA, is a brand new series from WNYC's On the Media. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Charlie.
Hey, Anissa. It's good to see you.
Yeah, good to be in the studio with you again. So, you've been digging into the story behind a specific college in North Carolina. Tell me about this place.
Yeah, I want to talk today about a place that was extremely unique and influential. It's called Black Mountain College.
Okay.
It was located right outside the town of Black Mountain, which is just down the road from Asheville in the mountains of western North Carolina.
Yeah, what was Black Mountain College? Also, why are you so interested in it?
Yeah, okay, so here's the log line. It was a liberal arts school that started in the early 1930s and ran for about 25 years. And today, what I want to dig into is how it upended higher education's status quo and how it elevated one of the most revolutionary art movements of the last century.
Interesting.
When I started learning about Black Mountain College, I could not believe it.
This is Alice Sebrell. She's the director of preservation for the Black Mountain College Museum and Art Center. She's going to be our guide today as we check out what made this place so exceptional.
I was just sort of overcome with amazement that this took place in North Carolina.
The story starts in 1933 with a disgruntled professor in Florida named John Andrew Rice.
Okay.
Now, Rice was something of a firebrand where he taught at Rollins College, and Alice says he was all about pushing the boundaries in education, which meant he often butt heads with higher-ups.
And in 1933, he was fired. So he and some colleagues and then some students at Rollins hatched this idea to start their own college.
This group of renegades from Rollins went looking for a place to set up a new college. And lo and behold, there was a facility already up and ready that fit the bill.
In this beautiful mountain location just outside of Black Mountain, North Carolina.
Now, the student body for the college was always pretty small, but that first year was tiny. Just 22 students and a dozen faculty.
Oh, wow.
But from the jump, it was drastically different from any other school.
First of all, there were no grades that were publicly given because they wanted the students to be motivated from within rather than from this external grade that some professor would give them.
Higher education, not to have grades, is a little wild.
And this gets to the core of their vision for the college. At the time, the culture in higher education was very hierarchical. The instructors would set a strict standard for what the students ought to learn without any discrepancy, right? But the faculty of Black Mountain College set out to flip that script.
Yeah, putting a lot of, let's say, decision-making power in the hands of the students. So a real shift of emphasis.
Oh.
This is a pretty rare form of education even today. But for a college in the 1930s, in Appalachia, this was very radical.
Any individual student could succeed or fail on their own terms.
Now, classes consisted of a group of people sitting around, some of them on the floor, shoeless, in shorts, and somebody started talking about, I took a biology course, and after a while it became obvious that one of the persons was a lecturer.
That's Margaret Meisner. She immigrated to the U.S. from Europe in the early 1940s and was a student at the college in the summer of 41. This is from an interview in the early 2000s.
And I came from a very structured school system where children got up when the teacher entered the room and where it was unthinkable that the professor would mix with the students. So it was very interesting to me that that was a way of having classes.
So like this succeeding or failing on their own terms. So if they don't have grades, like how do they succeed or fail?
So the college was broken up into two main sections of your education. There was the junior division and then the senior division. And you didn't have grades, but you did have a couple exams that you had to take. One to ultimately graduate and one to go from the junior division into your senior studies. But the thing is, you could decide when you took those exams.
And the exams given by Black Mountain College were very different. I mean, they were actually a hybrid of what we might understand as an exam today, but also there was like this poetic component, like describe the walk from the studies building to the dining hall.
Oh, fascinating.
A student could take that in whatever direction they were inclined to do.
Amazing. I would have loved to take an exam like that when I was in college.
Yeah, me too.
So you have these like pedagogical gatherings in a very casual setting.
Yeah.
But then is that all the college was?
Definitely not. The classes were just one part of it. There was also the work program, and every student and even the faculty had to participate in this. It was a way to push folks outside of just a classroom setting and get their hands a little dirty.
And it came out of learning through doing. So you can, read about raising cows for years, but if you don't actually spend some time with a cow, learning how to raise it, how to milk it, what it needs, you don't really know how to raise a cow.
There was a farm you could work on. You could also do some construction, help in the kitchen.
If you just think of a small community living together, all of the tasks that are required to keep that community going.
So you've got the work program mixed in with this unique style of classes. The foundation underneath all of it, Alice says, was one thing: art.
Yeah, having the arts be at the center of this liberal arts education.
And as a result, you had folks with all kinds of artistic interests. And this fostered a lot of natural collaboration at the college.
Poets and painters and dancers might collaborate on a work. Everybody's together, everybody's sharing meals together, and ideas get hatched. And you're like, well, what would happen if we did this particular thing? And they're like, I don't know, let's give it a try.
So throughout the 1930s, Black Mountain College established itself as this kind of creative haven. And then in the early 40s, the college made a big move to a much larger location that was nearby. And its reputation grew even more, including in the small town of Black Mountain.
I mean, you could tell a Black Mountain College student a mile away. Many of them made their own shoes. They made sandals. They would tie-dye their clothes. They were sort of ahead of the game in their, personal lifestyle choices. They were experimenting.
Yeah.
And if you're not used to seeing something like that, it's maybe a little off-putting. But was totally harmless.
And Alice says another area where the college was ahead of the game was integration. The school admitted its first black student in 1944, actually.
Wow.
10 years before Brown versus Board of Education mandating desegregation. This was in the Jim Crow South, but nonetheless, the college felt like it was integral to their community philosophy to be welcoming of all people.
And it was that same year, 1944, when the college kickstarted a special program that would attract some big names in the art world.
The summer sessions were a time when some of these all-star celebrity names, that's when they were there because they weren't making this huge commitment. They could just come in for a summer.
That included folks like painters Willem and Elaine de Kooning, the architect Buckminster Fuller,
John Cage and Merce Cunningham.
And this was big because folks like dancer Merce Cunningham and composer John Cage were at the forefront of a new revolutionary art movement.
Abstract Expressionism.
Abstract Expressionism. Kind of a mouthful. But this movement was really gaining steam in the wake of World War II and reshaping modern art. It leaned into breaking the traditional rules of art through this experimental avant-garde style.
So for these experimental artists, they must have felt like this kind of college was a great fit for them.
Absolutely, yeah. Since breaking the rules was kind of the rule at Black Mountain College, these artistic celebrities of the time felt right at home there, right? They could let their inspiration really run wild and feed off of the experimental energy that was already in the air.
Absolutely. Just an amazing array of very, very talented people.
And in the summer of 1952, they put together something nobody had ever seen before. A performance that would end up being one of the most groundbreaking artistic moments of the century.
I think some people certainly had no idea it would become this influential moment.
Find out what that was after a short break.
I can't wait. Insurance isn't one size fits all, and shopping for it shouldn't feel like squeezing into something that just doesn't fit. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they show you options that fit your budget. Enough hunting for discounts, trying to calculate rates, and tinkering with coverages. Maybe you're picking out your very first policy, or maybe you're just looking for something that works better for you and your family. Either way, they make it simple to see your options. No guesswork, no surprises. Ready to see how easy and fun shopping for car insurance can be? Visit Progressive.com and give the Name Your Price tool a try. Take the stress out of shopping and find coverage that fits your life, on your terms. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
I'm Brian Reed. When I created S-Town, I looked at how secrets, lies, and the stories we tell shape a small, rural town. Now, on my podcast, Question Everything, I'm going bigger. Hi, this message is for Senator Lindsey Graham. I head to Washington to take on a law that gives tech companies sweeping immunity.
Is how these companies have gotten rich.
Senator Durbin's office.
Join me as I go after big tech on Question Everything from Placement Theory and KCRW, out Thursdays, wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, Anissa, let's go back to the summer of 1952.
Let's do it.
It's August at Black Mountain College, and the avant-garde composer John Cage is cooking up a special performance.
It started at lunch one day.
This again is Black Mountain College preservationist Alice Sebrell.
This idea came up. What if we created the conditions for a performance that would not have a script? There would be no narrative to it.
Sorry, so no script, no narrative. Like, what is happening? Like, what are they planning to do?
So John Cage and his friend, pianist David Tudor, said, what if this was essentially a free-for-all with a bunch of different performers?
Oh, not just one.
The structure would be provided in terms of time signatures.
Okay, so like a designated window of time.
Right. They could do whatever they wanted within their given time signature. There might be some overlap between one performer and another, and that would constitute the performance.
So John Cage and his crew set up a performance space inside the college's dining hall. 4 sections of chairs were made for the audience, all facing the center.
There were aisles between the 4 sections, so Merce Cunningham danced through the audience. A community dog joined in and ran after him, barking. John Cage read something. Robert Rauschenberg suspended his white paintings from the ceiling rafters. And then there were films projected.
There was a lot of disjunction. Something would happen and it would be purposely interrupted, and then something else would happen.
That's painter Dorothea Rockburn. She was a student at the college in the early 50s, and this is from an interview in 2002.
A cacophony of sound. You couldn't distinguish, chaos, purposeful chaos. And then something would arise out of that, like somebody's voice, perhaps singing.
The conditions allowed for spontaneity.
I feel like even now, the audience would be disconcerted by something like this, but I'm just trying to think like in the early 50s, it's just a pandemonium. How did the audience react to this?
Yeah, the reception was pretty mixed.
One of the older women in the community characterized it as the Dark Ages, or the just like sad times, So,
But a lot of folks really embraced it as this boundary-pushing, experimental performance.
Completely in keeping with other things that were going on at the college. And it was just another, I don't even know what day of the week it was, but let's say just another Saturday night at Black Mountain College.
Now, it might have been your average night at Black Mountain College, but this performance had a huge effect beyond just this remote campus in North Carolina.
It's come to be considered the first happening.
After the performance in Black Mountain, John Cage brought this concept back to his home base in New York City, where it was later expanded on and given a name, a happening.
They were avant-garde, unpredictable events.
These happenings broke all the traditional rules of performance and offered a bold new art form.
Upending our notions about what a theater production might be.
And eventually, they'd become a defining feature of modern art in the 1950s and 60s, which is seen as one of the most revolutionary art movements in the last century. And it couldn't have happened without this small group tucked away in the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Amazing. So when we started this conversation, you said Black Mountain College was around for about 25 years. So does that mean that it doesn't still exist today?
That's right. The rest of the 1950s were actually pretty rough for the college. Funding for the school was always a challenge, but by the mid-50s, outside support was drying up. So in 1957, Black Mountain College closed its doors. But the school's influence on the art and education world quickly became pretty undeniable. Alice says a lot of the artists and writers who attended Black Mountain went on to places like New York and San Francisco, these creative epicenters. And all the while, they carried the spirit of their Appalachian alma mater.
There's a term called sprouted seeds. Their seed had been germinated by the nourishment at the college, which I think is a really wonderful way to think about not only the artists, but the educators who grew out of Black Mountain College.
So when you say that it really influenced liberal arts education, how do we see the results of that today?
One good example is the no grades. That's something that's definitely more common at smaller liberal arts schools today, but back in the 1930s, Black Mountain College was really at the forefront of that kind of education. And it's things like that that really got a good kickstart from the college and then spread out from there.
And they took that energy, that pedagogical thinking to their new circumstances, which might be other schools in that liberal arts tradition. Maybe were a little bit bigger, maybe a little more traditional, but still open to these ideas that had flourished at the college.
And the remarkable thing is, all those creative seeds are still sprouting today. Check, check. In April, I went to an event called Rehappening, which is a reference to the original Happening. It's put on every year by the Black Mountain College Museum and Art Center, where Alice works. It takes place at the former campus of the college, which is a summer camp today. And it features a bunch of different artists and musicians.
If I do like a high, it goes down.
Many of them are collaborative, some of them are interactive, and so we just activate the campus with contemporary artists and their work.
You have musicians that play strictly classical, you have strictly free improvisers, you have visual artists, you got filmmakers, you got storytellers. Everybody's coming together.
This is a local musician named Landon George.
This is the one event of the year that all the weirdos get to come out and fly their flags, you know?
Love it.
Now, I talked to Landon inside a gym where there was something like a happening going on. There was this collection of art installations and experimental musicians all doing their thing, which made this fun swirl of different sounds.
Very good collaboration. Very cool.
Yeah, it was great. The main event, though, inside this gym was a performance called Sebrell. It was an orchestra set up in a semicircle with a big brass bell right in the middle. And as the orchestra played, folks in the audience were encouraged to walk up and ring the bell.
Oh.
A few months ago, I was hiking with my friend, and she said, "I'm only going to start saying yes to things that ring my soul bell."
This is Charlie Boss, the composer behind Sebrell.
So I started thinking about getting people to engage with what rings their own soul bell and to ring it into reality or ring it into the air. And I wanted our orchestra to breathe with that and vibrate along with them.
Okay, you have to tell me. Did you ring the bell?
I rang the bell.
Yes.
I did it. And I thought it was a pretty good ring.
Beautiful. Sounds like there was a whale in there, too. So, what rings your soul bell, Charlie?
I would say stuff like this rings my soul bell. Stuff like the Rehappening.
Yeah.
And that, kind of sounds cheesy, but what I mean is things that are linked to the legacy of a specific place. So, in this case, the Rehappening was echoing what I think the mantra of Black Mountain College was. I mean, in the air that day was the same kind of creative, collaborative, and inclusive spirit that the college was so well known for, right? I mean, take Sebrell, for example. For that one moment, when I rang that bell, I was a part of the orchestra, and I think that's really special.
It's not cheesy at all. No, I think this, connection that you can make over time through art is very precious. So, Charlie, Black Mountain College is still resonating, no pun intended, with people like the artists at the Rehappening. And we talked about its influence within liberal arts education. But what about for just like regular folks like me? Why is Black Mountain College still important today?
I think it shows the value in experimenting. So think about if you studied at Black Mountain College, you were encouraged, if not required, to experiment.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much about finding the quote-unquote right answers. It was more about exploring what the right answer was for you. And the college itself was an educational experiment. But the fact that we're still seeing its ripple effects today, I think shows how valuable a good experiment can actually be.
And I'm still just amazed at what happened. The artistic experimentation is still totally inspiring. Black Mountain College was a place of transformation, and there's room for everybody to embrace it and take it in their own direction.
Thank you so much for this, Charlie, for taking me on this creative experimental journey. I loved it.
Yeah, thanks for chatting about this, Anissa.
This episode of The Broadside was produced by Charlie Shelton Ormond. It was edited by Jared Walker. Our executive producer is Wilson Sayre. Special thanks to the Black Mountain College Museum and Arts Center for supplying some of the audio featured in this episode. Thanks also to Blue Ridge Public Radio for technical support. The Broadside is a production of WUNC News in North Carolina and is part of the NPR network. If you have feedback or a story idea, you can email us at broadside@wunc.org. If you enjoyed the show, leave us a rating, a review, or share it with a friend. I'm Anissa Khalifa. Thanks for listening, y'all. We'll be back next week.
At first, I didn't think it was real. I woke up to this blinding light, and I was transported to another place. Pluto TV! Then I heard a voice.
Come with me if you want to live.
There were thousands of movies and shows, and they were all free.
The truth is ours.
It's just so beautiful.
On Pluto TV, free streaming of Terminator 2, Fringe, Arrow, The 100, and The X-Files may cause excitement, loss of sleep, and sudden belief in extraterrestrials. No credit cards or alien encounters necessary. Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.